Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're tackling something I think resonates with a lot of people. Learning English, yes, but also feeling genuinely confident about it. We've been listening to a recording from the English Leap podcast by SK Gust Perry. It's on the SKMBT channel.
Right. And the title, "This Video Will Change Your Life,"
Hmm.
it's pretty bold, isn't it? It definitely suggested something more than just, vocabulary lists.
Exactly. It hinted at something deeper.
And that's what grabbed us, the focus on the mindset behind learning a language. It's not just grammar rules and drills.
So our aim today, our mission for you listening, is to pull out the really actionable bits, the practical steps, sure, but also those crucial mindset shifts.
Yeah, we want to give you tools, insights, not just for English maybe, but for building that belief in yourself, which, let's face it, is useful pretty much anywhere.
Okay, so let's dive in. The absolute core seems to be this idea of mindset. How you think about learning is apparently just as vital as, say, studying verb conjugations.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is how the source contrasts that negative self-talk. Oh, I'll never get this, English is too hard kind of thinking.
We've all been there.
We have. It contrasts that with a much more growth-oriented way of thinking. Like saying, okay, I will learn English, I'm going to practice, I will improve.
It sounds simple, but the point made is that this internal chatter, it really shapes your results, doesn't it?
It really does. If you're constantly telling yourself it's impossible, well, you're kind of setting yourself up for that to be true. It directly links to maybe feeling shy or just feeling overwhelmed.
That feeling of it being this huge mountain to climb.
Yeah. And this kind of prompts a question for you listening right now.
No.
What's that voice in your head saying when you approach English or really any challenge?
The podcast doesn't just point out the problem, though. It suggests actively working on that inner voice.
Right, using specific affirmations. Like the host suggests actually saying things like, I am learning English.
And I am getting better every day. It feels a bit self-helpy, but does it work?
Well, think about it neurologically. Consistent positive self-talk, it can genuinely start to rewire pathways over time.
Yeah.
You repeat it, you start to internalize it,
Okay.
and then that can genuinely boost your confidence. It makes you maybe a little more willing to risk making a mistake, to actually speak.
Right. Instead of freezing up because you're worried about sounding silly, training your brain for progress, not perfection.
Exactly. Focusing on moving forward, not on every little slip up.
That's helpful. Okay, so mindset is key. But the podcast also gets practical. It talks about small, consistent actions. There's this idea of a secret. What's that about?
Yeah. The secret, quote unquote, is basically that you don't need these marathon study sessions. You don't have to memorize the entire dictionary.
Phew. That's a relief for many, I imagine.
Right. The real power, it suggests, lies in small, manageable things you do every day. Consistency over intensity.
And the examples are pretty doable. Watching a short video.
Listening to a podcast.
Hello! Huh, yes. Reading a story, even just chatting with a friend in English.
Tiny things. And the point that really lands is that even like 10 minutes a day, that adds up. It makes a real difference over time.
So it busts that myth that you need hours and hours carved out of your day to see any improvement.
Totally. It makes it less intimidating. Think of it like compound interest for your brain. Small deposits, big returns later.
I like that. Makes progress feel achievable. Now, another interesting bit was the focus on specific words of the day. Why these particular ones?
Well, look at the words themselves. Confident, practice, improve. They're not just random vocabulary, are they? They're like the building blocks for feeling good about learning.
Okay. So, confident first, defined as feeling sure about yourself.
And the example given is, I feel confident when I speak English. That directly hits that shyness point we talked about. It's the goal, isn't it?
It really is. Okay. And the next one.
Practice, meaning, to do something again and again to get better. The example, I practice English every day.
Which connects straight back to those small daily actions.
Exactly. See how they link. And the third is improve to become better. Example, my English improves when I listen to this podcast.
Shameless plug there from the original podcast.
Maybe. But again, it reinforces that idea of ongoing progress. These words together, they kind of create a vocabulary for growth, for self-belief in the process itself.
So it's not just learning English words, it's learning words about learning and succeeding. That's quite meta.
It is. And you can see how that applies way beyond language, right? Confidence in a job interview, practicing an instrument, improving a skill.
Absolutely. These are core concepts for personal growth in general.
Which maybe makes you think, How could you consciously use words like these in your own internal monologue, whatever you're working on?
Food for thought. Now, if things get really hands-on with the challenge of the day, this involves a mirror.
Yes, this is quite direct. The challenge is literally go to a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say out loud, I can speak English, I believe in myself, 3 times.
Okay, I could see how that might feel, well, a bit weird at first, talking to yourself in the mirror.
Definitely. The host even acknowledges that.
Yeah.
Says it might feel strange. But the point is rooted in that idea we discussed. Change your thoughts, change your world.
So it's taking the affirmation idea and making it more physical, more concrete.
Precisely. It's adding that visual, auditory, and kinesthetic element.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself say it, hearing yourself say it. It's meant to make the belief more tangible, cut through the doubt.
A way to actively confront those I can't thoughts head on.
Yeah. You're looking right at the person who needs convincing yourself. And again, take English out of it for a second. Imagine doing that for any goal. I can run this race. I believe in myself. It's a powerful technique for building self-efficacy.
It really is. A simple but potentially quite profound exercise.
Okay, so as we sort of wrap up our look at this English Leap podcast recording, what are the main takeaways for everyone listening? Well, I think it boils down to a few key things working together. First, that positive growth-focused mindset is absolutely foundational. You got to believe it's possible.
Right, number one.
Second, forget the overwhelming marathon sessions. Small, consistent daily actions are where the magic happens. Like 10 minutes a day.
Makes it manageable.
Third, the language you use about your learning matters. Words like confident, practice, improve. They frame the journey positively.
Build that vocabulary of belief.
And finally, actively working on that self-belief, maybe even with slightly strange exercises like the mirror challenge, can really move the needle.
Yeah.
It's about reinforcing that I can feeling.
And the source ends with this powerful line, doesn't it? Not because of magic, but because you decide to take action.
Yeah, that ties it all together perfectly. Mindset is crucial, beliefs is crucial.
Yeah.
But they need action to become reality. You have to do the thing.
It puts the control firmly back with the listener, with you.
Exactly. Belief plus action, results. That seems to be the core formula here.
So maybe the final thought for you listening today is this. Forget magic for a moment. What's one small, concrete action you could take today? In English, maybe, or in any area you want to see improvement.
And perhaps just as importantly, how might tuning into that inner voice, shifting it towards belief and possibility, actually impact your willingness and ability to take that action?
It really comes down to your choices, your mindset, and those small steps. Something to definitely mull over.